Hello everybody, this is Evan Irwin. It is August 14th, 2006. It has been a long time since I talked to any of you. How are you doing? Today we're going to take a look at Ninja Affinity. Wait a minute, Ninja Erayo. Or Erayo Ninja, or Ninja Super Clouds of Paradise or something. This is the deck that just won first place at German Nationals and has pretty much screwed up everybody. No one has any idea what's going on. They're like, wait, what? Eryao in a winning deck that doesn't have a card that says affinity for artifacts? Apparently, Eryao affinity is catching on and extended, but in Type 2, the ability to do Eryao Ornithopter, repeal the Ornithopter, play the Ornithopter, flip Eryao, that just happens to be a winning combination, particularly when you're only running 20 lands and two of the most powerful ninjas ever made. That does not include Ink Eyes, and that is Hagure, the Still Wind. Whoever thought he was going to be in the first place deck? And Ninja the D-Powers, which has been a favorite for all kinds of formats, even all the way back into Vintage and Legacy. So who knew? I think the most important part of this deck is actually Ornithopter. Ornithopter powers, basically all of your ninjutsu strategies. Lets you get that first turn drop that if you don't have a Birds of Paradise, you definitely have an Ornithopter, and powers out Erayo's ability to flip, because with one blue you can repeal the Ornithopter and draw a card and then play the Ornithopter, and that right there is one blue for 3 different spells. So if you have 3 mana, an Eryao, an Ornithopter, and a repeal, you suddenly have their first spell countered for the rest of the game. As far as the other spells that are featured here, you've got Boomerang for permanent management. You have Mana Leak, and of course the best spell in Type 2, which is Remand. You have Repeal, which is incredible. Obviously, it helps flip Ornithopter and whatnot, powers out the entire deck. Sleight of Hand actually lets you play with 20 lands and 4 birds with no problem, because if you get a 1-land hand with a Sleight of Hand and you're on the draw and you're feeling lucky, you can keep that 1-land hand and draw right out of it with Sleight of Hand. Depends really on your comfort level with keeping 1-land hands, particularly in a deck like this, because the entire deck basically runs on 2 mana. Other than Hagure, the Still Wind, you're looking at a deck that is only using mana for ninjas and boomerangs and mana leaks and remands and so on and so forth. And then you even have a free counter spell in Disrupting Shoal, which lets you get through first turn counter spells with Repeal, and of course any 2-drops that they might want to play, because basically if it's not Sleight of Hand, then all of your spells are 2 mana. Sleight of Hand or Repeal, rather, than all of your spells are 2 mana. So the power in this deck is actually that it is a 100% tempo deck. It does not operate any other way. If you don't have a opening hand that includes something like a Ninja or an Eryao / Ornithopter, you'll be able to flip it really quickly, then you're probably in trouble. So based on my limited playtesting so far, I found that a Seal of Fire is your worst enemy, is actually the bane of this whole damn deck. It's really difficult to play around Seal of Fire because it kills your birds, it kills your ninjas, it kills your ornithopters, and it kills your Eryao. So if it ain't Hagure, it's dead. You can play around stuff like Lightning Helix and so on and so forth, because you can remand it, you can repeal the target, mana leak it, boomerang it, so on and so forth. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to play a bunch of games against hopefully some tier 1 decks, including sideboarding, and I'm going to bring you some highlights, so you don't have to sit around and listen to me babble for 15 minutes while I beat whatever. So let's go. This is one of those hands that I kept because it had the Birds of Paradise, had a breeding pool, had an Ornithopter, and a Ninja. Now that means you can play the bird first turn and the Ornithopter, and then you can ninjutsu in the Ninja soon after. I top deck a Sleight of Hand, which lets me find a land, lets me find an island. So now basically my entire deck just went online, because I have Repeal and Eryao in hand and 3 mana on the board, along with 2 Ornithopters. That means I can flip Eryao next turn if he gives me an opening. I have Remand in my hand right now, which lets me get that tempo advantage. He plays an Umezawa's Jit, and I remand it. And he passes the turn. Now here is where Disrupting Shoal proves its worth. Now I drop a Minimo, School at the Water's Edge. Tap 2 mana to play Erayo. Is that alright? He tries to remand it, and I Disrupting Shoal it, pitching another Disrupting Shoal. And it's countered. That's 2 spells for the turn so far. Now I repeal the Ornithopter. That resolves. That's 3 spells, and I get to draw a card. Then I play the Ornithopter, and Eryao has officially flipped. Then on the following turn, I swing with an Ornithopter that's unblocked. Ninjutsu in Hagure. Go find a Ninja of the Deep Hours. Play the Ornithopter. And say go. And even though he's got 2 counters on his Jit, I have an unblockable Deep Hours and an unblockable Hagure, and one of them is going to hit along with 2 extra mana available to Ninjutsu and Ninja of the Deep Hours in my hand. And that's enough for a concession. Unfortunately, he didn't want to play any more games. And we're back with a new game. This deck I'm playing against now is a sort of green, white, blue control, and I get an absolutely ridiculous hand. This is probably the best hand you could think of if you were just sitting down and wanted to type out exactly the hand that you wanted to look at. You got your birds, you got your ninjas, you got your repeals, you got your disrupting shoals. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. Let's see how it plays out. Second turn ninja, check. After getting the ninja in play, becomes the very important 4th turn. I can smell a Wrath of God a mile away, and luckily for me, I've got Disrupting Shoal and Ninja of the Deep Hours, which has a 4 casting cost, but is really a quote-unquote 2 mana spell in this deck. And quite simply, I don't think he could have recovered from this point, but it gets worse. Soon, Hagure is joining the party. And I go tutor up another Ninja of the Deep Hours. This is extremely important, as you'll soon see, because he then taps out 4 mana for a Faith's Fetters, targeting my Hagure, and I have the Disrupting Shoal and the Ninja of the Deep Hours I just tutored to counter it. And that was game. Alright, so join me next time where I just got my director account on YouTube turned on, so I'll get to make big, huge, cool videos, and I'll go a little bit more in depth next time, which I think will be a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. Take it easy. P.S. Demon Fire you.